So, on Sunday, Super Smash Bros. Melee Pro Hungrybox tweeted out a picture of his prize for placing 5th at CEO 2022's Melee tournament. A whole $75. This kickstarted a massive conversation about Melee prize pools, about whether or not TOs should pay out more, or if top players should just shut up about this whole thing. So let me explain what's going on, about why Hbox got so little for top 8ing one of the biggest tournaments of the year, and why we all need to stop having this conversation every few months. Hey folks, before we get into the video, I want to ask you to please sub to the channel and turn on notifications, and if you haven't done it yet, head over to twitch.tv/theScore esports and throw us a follow there. Subs help a lot here and follows help a lot there. We appreciate whatever you got for us. Okay, so this past weekend, CEO 2022 went down and it had a pretty sick Melee tournament. Magi had a sick run, cementing her as one of the most exciting players in Melee right now. Plup made the Plup Club proud by bouncing back with an incredible 6-0 win in Grand Finals, but all anybody could talk about on Twitter after the fact was Hungrybox. Like I said earlier, on Sunday, after the tournament ended, Hungrybox tweeted out a picture of the envelope containing his prize for placing 5th, a whole $75 US. Obviously, when you compare that to what you could be getting for 5th place in some other games major tournaments, it looks pretty low. But to be honest, it's not that crazy for Melee tournaments. If you don't play fighting games, most tournaments work like this. Everybody pays an entry fee, which is usually $10. That fee goes into a pot, which is paid out to top 8. The majority of the money goes to the person who placed first, while a smaller amount of the money goes to the person who tied for 8th. There are a handful of tournaments that have pot bonuses, which is when someone throws in some money to make sure the top 8 makes extra cash. But those are really rare in Melee. Companies like Capcom and Bandai will throw in money for Street Fighter and Tekken tournaments to drum up interest. But Nintendo pretty much always ignores Melee tournaments. So CEO 2022 had 224 entrants, and at $10 a person, that's a $2,240 prize pool, which roughly shakes out to $75 for 5th. For the record, Plup got around $1,120, or half the prize pool. Hungrybox would have known that math from the moment registration ended. He knew since the second the brackets closed how much he stood to earn from winning the tournament. And yet, the tweet happened anyway. Look, I am not upset at Hbox for wanting more money for putting in work and literally doing his job all weekend. I'm sure that $75 feels like a slap in the face to him. And for some folks, that $75 was doubly insulting because CEO is on the Panda Cup, a new Super Smash Bros. League organized by Panda Gaming in association with Nintendo. Some people were hoping when the circuit was announced that Nintendo's involvement would lead to higher prize pools at events other than the finals. But that hasn't happened yet. Now, to be fair, Hungrybox is one of those lucky players who doesn't need to win a bunch of money from this tournament. He's on Team Liquid. He's probably paid a salary, he has successful Twitch and YouTube channels. Fact of the matter is, most of the people who came to play in CEO came from out of town and lost money on the event. But they didn't go because they were expecting to make a ton of money playing Melee. They went because they wanted to test their skills and have fun hanging out with their friends at a tournament. Hungrybox is one of the lucky few that gets to make money playing Melee already. Personally, I wish that anybody could make a living doing whatever they wanted to, like playing Melee, for example. But unfortunately, it's not the world we live in. Look, Melee isn't most esports. It is a children's party game from 2001 that has, beyond all odds, cultivated a dedicated competitive fan base who love the game more than anything. CSGO has millions of players who are engaged in the competitive scene. League of Legends is one of the biggest games on the planet. Riot wants to make sure that Valorant is a hit that lasts forever. And all of these games make their companies money hand over fist with skin sales, which is why those companies support their esports scenes. Nintendo hasn't seen a cent from Melee fans in 2 decades. Not to mention the fact that the competitive Smash scene is a minuscule fraction of the overall Smash audience. Even Smash Ultimate, a game that Nintendo was still making DLC for as of last year, is not getting supported with pop bonuses. Nintendo just doesn't care about competitive Smash. Whether they should or shouldn't is irrelevant. They don't. In fact, sometimes Nintendo actively works against the Smash community.
Yo, Ninja.
Did you borrow from me or someone?
When the f are you helping out the Smash community, alright?
Listen, bro, I've been waiting. Dude, we know that was on Nintendo, not me.
The streets are wondering.
That was on Nintendo, not me.
You know what? The worst thing is I believe you 100%.
It's 100%
Absolutely. Dude,
yeah.
all I wanted to do was create a massive tournament, and I literally wanted to just juice Evo like 500K. But I wanted to get Nintendo's
I know.
and
No, I'm not gonna
they
tilt that,
just-
but
You
They
still watch
ghosted
it?
us.
85%
Yeah, they've done
chance.
worse.
Keep up with it
Like,
at all?
Smash
there's
Bros.
ghosting
Not
and there's
for a while,
actively
no.
against.
And so Smash prize pools are gonna continue to languish, at least under the current model. Like I said earlier, this conversation crops up once every couple of months when a pro is frustrated by the pittance they got for playing Melee. And it's not a new thing. We've had these conversations literally dozens of times for years. I think everyone agrees that we're not expecting tournament organizers to just open up their wallets and fork over thousands of dollars to top players just for playing the game. We'd never get tournaments again, it would be horrible. But the fact of the matter is, Melee prize pools do seem to be shrinking as less people enter tournaments in the post-COVID era. So let's talk about some solutions, ones that don't involve whining about Nintendo. First, there's crowdfunding, which has worked to great effect in the Melee scene in the past, but does come with its own issues. See, Smash Summit crowdfunds their prize pools, leading to each Summit event having some of the highest prize pools in the scene. Tweak got $47,739 for winning Ultimate Summit 3, the highest single prize in Smash history, and literally $12,000 more than the entire prize pool for EVO 2019 Smash Ultimate Tournament. The problem, if you can call it one, is that Summit events are exclusive. These are invite-only tournaments. A good player can be voted in, but it's not an open bracket. That means that anybody who doesn't already have a sponsor or is willing to lose a bunch of money traveling around the US to make their name is out of luck when it comes to getting a crack at these massive prize pools. And while crowdfunding can result in high prize pools, they are ultimately at the mercy of community interest. Melee Smash Summit 11 had a $153,372 crowdfunded prize pool. Smash Summit 12 went down to $56,951. And Smash Summit 13 went all the way down to $29,808. Those are still quite high by Melee standards, but they're not going to provide the kind of lucrative, eye-popping payouts you see in other games. So, what else can the Melee scene do if they want to put more money into top players' pockets? Well, tournament organizers could raise the entry fees from $10 to $20. This solution has been floated by top players in the past. And look, it would literally double all prize pools by having the community chip in a little more. On the surface, that makes sense. After all, it's just $10, and inflation has really changed the value of the pot without the entry fee being changed to reflect that. But at the same time, critics of raising entry fees have noted that on top of your entry fee, you're probably also paying for hotels, registration, travel, food. Going from $10 to $20 could be the straw that breaks the camel's back when it comes to someone choosing to enter a tournament or not. And what's better, someone entering and putting $10 in the pot, or someone staying home and putting $0 in the pot? Look, there's no easy answer here. Top players like Hungrybox and Elephant have said plenty of times that the reason they make such a stink about prize payouts is because they don't want the next generation of Melee players to be discouraged from getting into an already incredibly inaccessible game, and honestly, I think they're right. After all, if you're a new up-and-coming player and you grind your ass off to make top 8 at a major and you don't even make enough money to cover your registration, let alone your hotel fee, that's gonna feel really bad and might discourage you from playing again unless you're crazy passionate about the game. But that's the thing, Melee fans are crazy passionate. All fighting game players are. If we wanted big prize pools, we would have played Fortnite when it was competitively relevant. Nobody ever got into Melee to get rich. Obviously, I don't want anybody to starve playing Melee. I want everybody to do whatever they love and earn enough money to make a living, and if that means playing a children's party game from 2001, go for it, that's awesome. But we do have to acknowledge that there is a financial reward in place for being good at the game. It's called getting signed to an esports team. Obviously, that doesn't happen to everyone. But the fact that Melee doesn't have giant piles of money being poured into the scene from who knows where is what keeps the game sustainable and why it's going to last a lot longer than every other esport on the planet. I bet you that if Valve decided to say fuck it to CSGO tomorrow and cancel the majors, a lot of CSGO pros would stop playing. If Riot shit-canned all their regional leagues, competitive league would all but dry up. But fighting games would survive all that. Melee has survived all that. It doesn't need big companies or huge prize pools propping it up. It's awesome and a privilege that top players get to make a living playing this game, but that's exactly what it is. Bigger prize pools might give Melee another pop of big time relevance the way it's had a few times in the last decade, but I don't think they're going to change the long-term health of the game. Maybe one day entry fees go up and prize pools increase. Maybe one day Nintendo shows up and adds $1 million pop bonus. Maybe one day all of that goes away. But at the end of it all, there are still gonna be 2 people sitting in front of a shitty CRT monitor, holding GameCube controllers, playing for $75. And that's beautiful. Do you think there's a top League of Legends player who would just call themselves League of Legends? That'd be awesome. I wanna change my League of Legends ID, my summoner ID, to League of Legends. League of Legends was born in 1994, and they started playing the game League of Legends, released in 2009. They became one of the greatest League of Legends players on the planet, and League of Legends didn't stop there. But then, in April 2020, Valorant came out.